Yeah, yeah.
The
2400 Block Podcast with your host, Johnny Rubes.
Hey guys, it's been quite a while since I was here in the studio making one of these unofficial podcast episodes. And you know what? Today is the day that I am going to be making an unofficial episode. Just went through a lot during the last couple of days, and I can elaborate more. Of course, I won't be very specific. It's pretty much going to be vague, but I will try to put it in the best terms possible because I don't want to tell too much of what's going on in my life. The world does not need to know everything about me, although that's kind of cool. They'll be like, oh yeah, he's doing okay. Well, tell you what, during the last few days, just been going through the motion in life. And sometimes I realize some things were meant to be, and of course sometimes things are not. But I gotta say this: it's good to get my feet wet. It's good to try something until it's not good enough anymore, and that's what it was for me. I don't know how to be like super specific about it, but it's like an experience that I've never tried at before, and for the first time ever in my 50 years that I am able to do something that shows my leadership skills, something that shows my ability to be going above and beyond than what I'm supposed to, besides the other task that I'm going through. And I realize that sometimes it is beyond my control. Sometimes you try to reach out to others and try to see what parts that they can do to contribute, but then you realize it, you're at it alone, and some of them just don't have the ability to listen, and I find that very disappointing. But tell you what, I'm very grateful to have gotten my feet wet. I'm grateful that I was bestowed this opportunity, and I just realized in the end that it was not for me. So that was the downside. But let me tell you more about the upside. Besides the technology that I've gotten to gain this podcast into levels I never thought it would, I'm very proud of the fact that I was there last weekend to commemorate a grand opening for my friend's restaurant in Aurora, Illinois, for them to designate me to record whatever it is that happens during this grand opening. I find it really awesome to just speak and to relate with everyone who was present on that day, to have the chance to talk to some people that I've never gotten the chance to talk to, or those I have already gotten the chance to know. And it's good to be in the center, right there in the spotlight. And the technology that I have, which includes the gimbal, which includes the small wireless mics, and of course this webcam right here that I'm talking to right now, I'm just blessed the fact that these are working to my advantage right now. Even though this is a small podcast, although I'm not making any profit whatsoever, it's just good to just do this particular type of hobby, to reach out to know that there is an outlet that looks for the better interest in people, whether it's the opening of a small business or one having to go through uh, the mental aspects of life itself, and to those who are having it differently than others. I'm glad to be that platform, and I plan to continue doing so in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to reach out to more individuals, get to talk more about what's going on in this nation of ours. Despite what's going on, I still love this country. All the way, 100%. Whatever makes every American happy, whatever it is that lets them enjoy life, I'm all for it. Right now, I'm over here sipping on a supplement, which is almost equivalent to that of pop. And I'm able to mix it here with water that's in this Yeti mug. And check out my Yeti mug, by the way. See that it has the 2400 block logo? I just tacked that sticker in there, and here we go. It's official. So I'm glad to sip on this because I know I'm doing more than I should nowadays. So here's to life. Okay. All right. So what's going on with this podcast so far? I can tell you it is going a tad slow, but it's good that we start doing in that kind of way, because sometimes when you rush into something, it somehow just lacks the substance. So with my podcast right now, going at a much more slower pace gives me the chance to do more research, gives me the chance to use my mind more, trying not to rely too much on just images, but I also want to feel more on the subject matter, what's being talked about. Sometimes I may jump ahead. Sometimes I get past all that and just start going for visuals, start going for more dialogue that suits my pace. But no, I am accepting of the challenges that lie ahead. I want to use more of my thinking abilities because it seems that I'm still working on that. And I've been having a problem comprehending and just jumping really quick. That has happened to me since I was a kid, since I was a latchkey. Pretty much stayed at home learning things, watching stuff on TV, listening to music as it's heard over the radio, reading magazines, different publications. Sometimes I just go into the library, do my research, go into the card catalog and the microfiche. Whoever goes into microfiche nowadays, right? Anyhow, I am just, once again, proud of the fact that I like to do this podcast for a year. I want to make season 6 for what it is, a whole 12-month thing. And it's the first time for my podcast to do it over 12 months. I only last about maybe 6-7 months generally, maybe 9. But for the first time with season 6, I am about to take it on to 12 months. Gives me time to prepare, gives me time to assess things, besides talking to people, which is really fun to do. I mean, what isn't fun, right? But I also want to get a little serious on the matters and just talking to everybody, what they're thinking of, what their point of view is. It just seems like today we just want to hear what we want to hear. And we don't want to hear the other side of what the other side wants to say to us. And I'm sure they want to know what we want to say to them. And they want to hear our own story too. I just wish we all gain a thorough understanding. I know when it comes to social media, we can only do so much, especially when it comes to making remarks, making comments like you're the one that's gonna be flawless, going against others who say things differently. Or maybe there were some that agree with you, but maybe they don't go too much of the extra mile. So we got to be very conscientious of that, especially when we are around and about. The moment we step away from our homes, getting out of that door and making our way to the world, we just have to be very aware that people operate differently. People have different lifestyles. But the thing we have in common, I must say, is that we survive each day right to the very end because of who you are, what you represent, what you stand for. And I wish that that could be respected, regardless of what kind of lifestyle you live in. And as long as you have the ability to respect others, as long as you don't push your agenda towards someone, then it's okay to lead a good, normal life, to be away from that stuff. For me in particular, I was never too much into everyone. My world's always been smaller. I never receive any phone calls. Look, right now, I'm not receiving any phone calls. Yes, I may be a face in front of you right now, talking to you on this podcast that has spanned for 5 years, but my lifestyle is still deemed as normal. I don't really put myself out there in the world, although I use this platform. I got to say, however, that I maintain responsibility. I do have a life. I do have a circle of people in my life. I would say it would be around maybe 5, maybe 10 closest ones out of the many that I come across every single day or every other day or once in a lifetime or once in a blue moon, so to speak. That's how I approach life. I don't really want to overwhelm myself. I would like to take life easier. It has gotten better as I gotten older. I am able to ease a little bit of that nervousness that still settles in myself. I do have a phobia. I do have some sort of anxiety. But I feel as though I am able to get control of that as I've gotten older. I've learned to be laid back. I've learned to just let go and to experience things firsthand rather than just backing away and sometimes never showing myself. That's one of my biggest weaknesses as a person. So I just want to be straightforward in saying that. I know there are people that are battling this every single day. Some have it worse than most. Some have it even worse than me. So I'm just very proud of the fact to just be transparent and to tell you guys as to what comprise of my mindset. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. But I must say now that life has gotten better. I feel like I have control of things. I know with things, I know things that I can limit myself to. But let me say this again. It's always good to try something rather than not having to. It's good to get my feet wet, my hands wet. Let me word it correctly. I said my foot wet, my feet wet. No, it's more like get my feet dirty and my hands wet. I don't know. I guess you guys have your own way of saying it. I'll just leave it at that. Sometimes my sayings could be off, but you can search for the actual saying on Google. I hope that works out for you even more. And you know what the worst part is too, as I'm sitting talking to you guys right now, is that a lot of people love reading from cards or scripts or whatever. But for me, it's about having to master the moment and knowing that I am speaking to you guys on camera and not reading with any script whatsoever. I've learned how to control some of my words, and I've said this on some of my previous podcast episodes. Sometimes we use filler words just to get ourselves comfortable. It takes a little bit of some adjustment. Sometimes it takes a lot of practice to talk in front of people, more so in front of a camera, in front of a lens that's just like this small. That's what I'm talking to right now. A lens that small that's looking at me right now. And now I have to prepare myself one day if I have to speak in front of people once again. And the last time I spoke to that many people was during my brother's funeral 2 months ago. And it didn't really require any practice whatsoever. But thanks to doing these kind of podcasts, especially on the video side, it gives me a chance to prepare myself. And people already know me by now, especially those that were watching me in attendance. I find that really cool because people say, oh yeah, he's the podcast guy, the guy that's running the small podcast. Yeah, I say it again. My podcast is small. It's nothing huge. Just right here in this really nice, comfy studio right now, which is set at 70-degree temperature. Room temperature, that is. And I just come about with all these ideas. This is not just a studio, guys. This is a workshop for me to think of things. And I'm also doing my book. I decided to give myself a break from my book for the last couple of days because a family friend came over here and he made a visit. He's actually looking for a career in the medical field here in America, and hopefully, got my fingers crossed that he will be having his career here in the Chicagoland area. I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to brag it. He has to work here in the Chicago area. I can't think of any other place. He can't work out there in California. He can't work out there in New York. Well, if he works in Florida, I understand. But I think he's better off here in the crossroads of America, which is around, Indiana, Illinois, Iowa maybe, but preferably here in Illinois. I hope he gets a chance to stay here in Illinois. And I was just honored to have spent a great deal with him, along with Riza and the rest of the family, to take him to places, to eat a lot of food. Guys, I seriously do need to work out. I've eaten this many food in this amount of days. It's been, a week? So I really need to hit the treadmill sometime today or sometime tomorrow. So I have to do that. But guys, all I can tell you right now, it's just been quite the week. Going through changes in life, having a podcast last minute at a grand opening for a restaurant. My friends, the Juarez family out there in Illinois, Aurora, Illinois, that is, with their new restaurant, Konami. Make sure to look at episode number 0602. That's season 6, episode number 2. Be sure to check that out. Shows a little bit of my editing as well as my filming capabilities. So I was able to do something new besides talking like what I am right now. I'm usually just used to this, usually used to rambling and my ranting, but having to edit stuff, which of course I've been doing before, but having to do it on a podcasting platform to present something, now that's a great thing in itself. And hopefully it will allow me, it'll carve out new opportunities for me to do events similar to that. And I think the most nervous part really about partaking in something like this is having to talk to people, especially of a higher rank. I'm talking about the consul general of the Philippines that's in Chicago. I had the opportunity to talk to her. I couldn't gauge any more questions because of the fact that I was kind of nervous. It takes a little bit of it takes a little bit of some confidence to talk to people who hold such a higher position like that. And the thing that made me felt really comfortable, and I'm just going to put her in the picture here, is Joanna. Joanna, she is known to many as the iconic media maven and cooking personality, Mama Cuisine. She's behind the name, the brand. And I'm just so comfortable talking to her like she's a long lost friend. And I've come to meet her for the second time. The first time was on a audio podcast in which we were able to record it through Zoom. I get to see her along with my team, and we get to have a good time hitting it off with conversation. But now when I meet her in person, I'm like, wow, she's 10 times more cooler than I thought. And because of her, it made me feel very comfortable. So maybe if I approach the consul general one more time, maybe it'll get better. I just have to learn how to be more assertive, as well as be fully confident in myself to ask more questions. And yeah, you can tell I can even critique myself just by watching that footage. And the footage is still there on my cloud. I'll get to study more on my habits. Guys, I am my own worst critic. I'll tell you right now, I am my own worst critic. When it comes to doing things in my life, yes. When it comes to things that I have done, made a mistake, but then I survive, yes, I still critique myself on that. So it takes a little bit of a while to make key adjustments on certain things. It may take not even a day, maybe a few days, could be a week. Few key adjustments, depending on what's going on, depending on my habits on that particular type of thing that I need to work on. But guys, let me tell you, when you're living life, take it easy. You know you're bound to make a few mistakes. You know you're just human. There's nobody perfect. And that you know that you can fix things. You have enough time to fix things. You can own up to your mistakes, and you know you can do it better the next day on something. So that's what my approach is in life. And I hope to continue doing that and humble myself with a lot of grace. And I think that all of us should do the same thing. You don't have to be like super religious. It's just more of the mindset about just taking it easy. Some people have it than most. But you know what? Just be grateful for what you have, for what you're going through, and your ability to solve things, to know that you mean a lot to others. And of course, to mean a lot for yourself. And knowing that you have survived a day. And knowing that you got all the supporters behind your back. Rallying. Making sure that you are okay. So, yeah, I guess that's the reason why I'm doing this podcast episode. Like, despite what's going on around me, you just got to take full control. And just make sure by the end of everything that you are okay. And I want to tell you guys right now that I am okay. All right. So I guess this is an amazing episode that I've done here so far. I'm trying to get a grasp of my words from what I'm saying, because sometimes it's really hard to break out of the habit of using those filler words, of having to use a lot of dead spaces I'm talking. So it's just good that after you go through some of that, like what I've just been going through with my podcast here, battling the filler words and the dead space. No, it gets even better than that. The more you keep doing these kind of things, the more you try to improve yourself in this XO amount of time. It can be done. And right now I am a testament of that. I'm talking to you guys, again, without the use of ad lib, without having to read something that I'm wanting to read. No, this is the real deal, guys. I'm here talking genuinely in front of you guys with what's on my mind, this range of emotions that I want to freely express myself, and at the same time drinking a supplement that is beneficial to my health other than pop. Well, pop is not really beneficial to your health. It's just a comfortable go-to drink whenever you need it. But today I'm taking a nutritional supplement that could be beneficial for your life. If you guys want to talk specifically to me about it, feel free. I am more than welcome to talk to you one-on-one, and I could get a team member alongside with me, and we could further discuss it. But right now, guys, as I'm about to conclude this podcast, I want to let you know that new episodes are coming. We are building them as we speak. And one of those subjects that I like to talk about is my late brother, Jason. He deserves that tribute of an episode. I know he's had it rough during the last few days of his life, right up until the very end. But I just want to say that knowing him for almost 50 years of my life, I can't really say beyond the 50 years of my life because I've only seen him lesser and lesser as the years went by. But I like to talk more about him. I like to talk more about what he's done in life, how he's been there for me. Besides the stuff that I talk on my eulogy there during his funeral, you guys will get to see that one. And of course, I want to also do an episode about Hulk Hogan, about one's fans' take. And that would be me and hopefully my brother. Hopefully he will get a chance to participate with me on this wonderful episode about our good childhood hero, that is Terry Gene Bollea, Hulk Hogan. We'll be sharing our insight about him, and I can tell more about my insight about Hulk through my own words and what I feel about what he has gone through. I know some of that were made public and I know was able to taint his reputation, but I'll be able to shed a couple of things about that. But it's not what you would think. So for right now, any doubters who are watching this bonus episode, if you're expecting me to say a lot of things negative about Hulk, it's not going to happen. So what I can tell you is a perspective that hopefully many will understand what I would like to say, and I would like to use this platform more on the positive side. So that's what I aim to do. That's what I plan to do for that episode. So now we're thinking about 2 episodes that are not even made yet, and they're about to enter pre-production stages. And then there's a couple of more that are in between that I'm also trying to go through. So much is going on right now at season 6, although it could be silent for quite a while, but we're working our way through. This is why we're going to go through the whole 12 months. And I hope you guys will understand. Anyways, that will be it for now. Thanks for having the chance to watch this latest bonus episode featuring yours truly here. And I wish you guys on a wonderful day, as well as a wonderful week. Stay true to yourself. Respect others' people's boundaries. And of course, be civil in society. All right, guys, you take care. Until next time.
Thanks for checking out this episode of 2400 Block Podcast. Don't forget to follow and subscribe.